These design challenges, like the whiteboard challenges, need to stop. Whiteboard challenges need to die. I am not joking. I am so sick. Hey, what's up, unicorns? Look, I'm gonna go jump right into it. Design interviews. Well, why we do it this way? I made a video last time about this, but I really just want to talk about why I really hate these design interviews. You know, it's just insane, right? So, design interviews, hate them, love them, whatever. And it's not necessarily every company does this. You know, most companies don't do the crazy, design interview process that most other companies do. Whereas some companies, you might just have maybe 1 interview, 2 interviews, maybe even 3 interviews at the max. But some places, they want to do this whole song and dance and doing 7 to 8 freaking interviews. Why are we doing that? Why? I don't get it, man. Why do you need so many freaking interviews? Look, I get it. We all want to make sure that we're making the right decision with the right person at the right salary. They want to get the right tenure or whatever, the right skill set. I get that. And so there needs to be some sort of vetting process that you go through, right? But I don't think that you need to have 7 to 8 interviews to vet a particular individual. If you know the particular individual's skill set, you see their resume, you see their portfolio, you see all these different things that they do with, you can kind of tell if they're like a junior, senior, principal, lead. You can kind of gauge that based on the work that they've done, the companies that they worked at, and basically just looking at their skill set. You don't necessarily need to have them go through a design freaking challenge where you spend 7 days on this thing. You're doing this big project, you send it in, nobody reviews it. You spent 7 days on something that you're not even getting paid for, and then nobody freaking looks at it, and then you get a rejection letter. I read this on LinkedIn. I'm not gonna show the post it, whatever, but I read this on LinkedIn where this guy spent 7 days on a freaking design challenge, whatever the hell, and he submitted a freaking Loom link, and nobody looked at the Loom. He had 0 views, and he got a rejection letter.
That's crazy.
Now, I'm not saying that you have to give people special treatment or anything like that when it comes to these, interview process, but it needs to be more streamlined, it needs to be more concise, and you guys need to be able to make an actual decision. You know what I'm saying? It's if you see my work, you see my resume, you see my portfolio, you should know that I can do the job. I didn't get a job with these companies because I made up the work, or I had somebody else do the work. I did the work. If you want to know more about how I did that work, let's have a conversation. Let's do a portfolio review. I get it, but at the same time, it's these design challenges, like the whiteboard challenges, need to stop. Whiteboard challenges need to die. I am not joking. I am so sick of these companies wanting you to do a whiteboard challenge. Literally, they want you to come in 45 minutes, 35, maybe an hour, and try to solve a particular problem. Do you not know that you cannot solve a problem like that in an hour? Come on, guys. You literally spend 6 months to a year trying to solve a problem, and you want me to come in and then try to solve your problem in 1 hour. And the worst thing is, some of these companies want you to try to solve a problem that they are currently experiencing. That's crazy. The fact that you want me to come in and basically solve an issue for you for free is just not cool with me. Let me just drop down here. It's really not cool with me. I don't agree with that. Ethically, morally, it's wrong because you're basically trying to solve a problem without hiring someone, or trying to solve a problem without actually paying anybody to do this particular work. Honestly, I've been a part of a few design challenges where I meet up with a person, They say they're like a founder or co-founder. They've been mostly with startups. They want you to come in and they want you to like solve a particular problem that they're actually facing. Yo, that's crazy. Like, who's getting paid for this? I ain't getting paid for this. We can't do that, man. We can't ethically, morally, we cannot go in situations and have people do work for free and then reject them. Oh, I don't agree with that idea, because you're coming into that conversation with so much knowledge and bias towards whatever thing that you guys have been discussing for months, and you want me to try to figure this thing out within an hour. I don't know if you're doing like market research or something, you just want to hire, like not hire, but get in an interview a bunch of people to try to solve this particular problem. That is not cool. That is not cool. I don't know what to do about that. So what am I saying? What am I saying? Well, I'm saying this. I'm saying that we need to find a better process, a better interviewing process to hire designers. What happens is most of these companies, well, most of these smaller companies want you to jump through all these different hoops and go through all these different interviews. And what they're not understanding is when you do that, when you have people go through a rigorous interview process, you're not only weeding out the bad people, but you're weeding out really good people who don't want to deal with that bullshit. They don't want to deal with it. I'm one of those people. If I ever apply to a job and it requires me to go through this rigmarole of an interview process, I will bow out. I don't want to do it. And I've honestly done this before. Like, I'm like, hey, recruiter, what is your interview process? Like, oh, we're gonna do this. They write off like 7 or 8 interviews. I'm like, that's a lot of interviews. They're like,
Oh, really? What have you seen?
2.
Really?
Yeah, because people can make real decisions. They don't have to freaking have 12 panel interviews, interview with every designer, interview with every manager. It's just not great, guys. Like I say, I'm trying not to say what I want to say by not saying, but I do say. I don't say like startups, guys. Really, guys? Startups are the worst. Startups are the freaking main culprit of doing a 12-step program to get a job there. What are you even offering that's so great? Do I gotta jump through all these hoops? Are you offering me equity? Are you giving me a part of the business? Are you giving me some sort of revenue share? What are you providing me that makes that's so compelling that I'm gonna jump through all those hoops? Probably nothing. Like, and then the whole like we're a family. Oh my God, don't even talk about that. That's gonna be another video. Freaking work families, bro. That's another thing we gotta stop talking about and stop saying and stop doing. But anyway, we're not here for that. Don't get me on a rant. But guys, these interviews, just don't do them. I encourage. Look, I know it's out there. People like, you know, I can't afford not to blah blah blah. I get it. But as a collective, if we band together and said, look, we are no longer going to do these interviews that you guys are requiring, they will stop doing them. Why? Because they're getting no candidates. They're not getting good candidates. They're getting whatever candidates they're basically attracting. So if you, as a designer, ever encounter an interview process that is super long and arduous and janky, just don't do it, man. Just don't do it. Like, know your worth. Like, know, like, hey, you can kind of set the standard here and say, like, look, I'm willing to do portfolio review. I'm willing to do design manager review. I'm willing to do a panel interview. But I'm not meeting with the CTO, the CEO. I'm not meeting with your 12 PMs. I'm not doing a design challenge where I got to come in and do a whiteboard session. I'm not doing not a portfolio, but a freaking design test where they give you 7 days, a certain amount of time to actually do with this thing and create a presentation and present it and send it off. I'm not doing all that. And you got to set that precedent, guys. You got to make that a standard. We're like, look, I know what I've done in the past. You can see my work. You see my resume. Check my background. You know what I'm saying? Check my background. And you will see that I ain't no punk at this. I've been doing this for a minute. even if you're new to the game, you might feel obligated to like, well, I'm a junior designer. It's my first interview. I'm gonna jump through those hoops. Granted, you probably should, so you can get that experience. But once you get that experience, you realize like, hell, it's not worth going through all these interview processes, man. It's just not worth it. But anyways, guys, that's the video. That's basically what I wanted to say. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you go to uglyunicorns.com, check it out. We got a few things coming down the pipeline this month. We got some exciting news that I'm launching pretty soon in the next couple weeks. So look out for those correspondence, as one would say. And if you haven't already, make sure you go to springboard.com. If you want to sign up for a UX course or your freaking cybersecurity, whatever you want to do in your life, go to springboard.com, click the link below, use the code UGLYUNICORNSSB1000, and you can get $1,000 off any course at Springboard. All right, guys, that's it for this video. First one of 2024, but better late than never. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.